I'm sure you have asked the question which war pet you are going to build, because simply you understand that building war pet is costly, right? Every single upgrade for the war pet section costs a lot of resources, right? Regeneration potions because you want to have a good legendary war pet, or you want to buy some skills which you of course want to have high stars, and these skills currency costs a lot, right? Even if you want to upgrade the stars of your favorite war pet, because you want to pair with your favorite hero pair, you understand that if you will make a mistake, you might won't gonna have a chance to build another one in the near future. That's why I think this video will be especially great for you, because I'm sure that at the end of the video you will understand more about war pets, and you will understand which war pet you want to build with your favorite hero pair. Because of that, we're gonna go to the war pet section in the stories, and we're gonna go to beasts, right? Here we have all the war pets which are inside the Call of Dragons. Some of the war pets are the basic ones, and some of the war pets are already late game war pets, which we are currently live in the game, right? Of course, I won't gonna speak about every single war pet. I'm going to speak about the best ones, which I recommend to take your attention. Of course, I will mention every single troop type like infantry, cavalry, mages, and archer, right? First of all, I have to mention that there is a one war pet which I think is the absolutely best one for almost every single troop type, which is especially infantry, mages, and archer, and that's of course Sand Lizard, right? Sand Lizard is actually having two styles of gameplay, right? So the first style is for the players who are fighting with the one march, like one single march. In that case, you want to have Intense Stone Aura because you want to heal only yourself, right? And the Intense Stone Aura heals your march more than anything else, right? That's the bonus of the Intense Aura. The second style is, of course, more for a pay-to-win players who are using 3, 4, or 5 marches, using 4 or 5 Sand Lizards together without Intense Stone Aura, and basically all of the 5 or 4 Sand Lizards are healing each other, and that's basically how you are getting your heals. I need to mention that in general in PvP, healing is absolutely amazing, right? The longer you are going to stay alive in the battlefield, the more merits you are going to get and more effective you will be at the end of the day. Of course, you will have more troops in your hospital, but trust me, well, you're gonna have a heals because in Call of Dragons we are having some free heals, and plus resource healing is getting lower and lower. And in terms of for example for mages, for archers, it's pretty easy to build Sand Lizards, right? Most important spells for Sand Lizard is of course Stone Aura and Advanced Stone Aura and Intense Stone Aura, depending on playstyle we just mentioned, right? After that, I think Tranquility is amazing for this war pit. Doesn't matter if you are Archer or Mage for the Sand Lizard, Tranquility will be always there, right? If you are Archer, then I'm going to go for Chain Strike and Advanced Chain Strike. That's always like a mandatory thing for the Archer Sand Lizards. And of course, depending on your hero pair, if you are Syndron and Freygar, you want to have some crit, and Angry Roar is great, right? But, well, if you are Mage, you are basically changing Chain Strike with the follow-up, and we know the follow-up is giving us amazing buffs, right? The healing, the damage, and shield buffs, right? And we are just removing chain strike, and we are putting follow up synergy. Follow up and advanced follow up will be the choice for the mage one, right? That's why basically I think building Sand Lizard is really easy. There is one more skill which I think we have to mention whenever we are speaking about heals and Sand Lizard, right? And that's a skill which is giving us additional buffs whenever we are going to heal, right? And it's basically the skill which you can get by farming these beasts on the field, and I'm pretty sure it will be really not that hard for you to get the skill which I'm trying to find out right now, so it will be easier for you guys to check and get that skill, right? Give me a second. Well, unfortunately, I cannot find it, but whenever I'm gonna find it, I will write it on the comment section, and that should be the key, right? So the Sand Lizard is absolutely amazing because I think if you are deciding as a mage or archer player which warpet you want to build to be effective on the battlefield on PvP, I think Sand Lizard will have a lot of use, and that's additional plus why you should be building Sand Lizard, right? And of course, well, we have three playstyles for archer, for mage, and for like 5 or 4 marchers. So basically, you have a lot of ways how you can use your Sand Lizard. The next troop type which I want to speak, and next warpet which I want to speak is of course Bruin Bear, right? Bruin Bear for infantry players. That's the best infantry player, Skogul and Goresh warpet. It's not because I'm reading here recommended heroes. It was well known before this additional UI change came to the game that it was especially great for Goresh and Skogul, right? If you are infantry player, I'm pretty sure you are aiming to have your Goresh and Skogul on a high levels because that will be your most important hero pair in the game, even when the new heroes will come out, right? Even till this day, even Dunfell and Mogro is here, but Goresh and Skogul is still the best infantry hero pair. So as an infantry player, or if you want to build an infantry mark, understand that you want to have Bruin Bear. What's the idea behind Bruin Bear, right? Well, Bruin Bear is all about counter-attack damage. More counter-attack damage you're gonna deal, you're gonna have some stacks, and whenever you have the max stacks, which is 3, you're gonna deal damage to 5 surrounding enemies, right? So basically, that's amazing for Goresh and Skogul because Goresh and Skogul can deal damage to multiple enemies whenever you are fighting, and plus you are super tanky. And in terms of skills, Counter Strike and intense Counter Strike should be the priorities here. First attack, even first attack, because well, we know that Goresh and Skogul can use damage, right? That's the beauty of this hero pair. It's not only about tankiness, you are also really dealing a lot of damage with your skill, right? And of course, Tooth of the Claw, whenever you are dealing damage by your skill or physical attack especially, Tooth of the Claw is always great because we are getting some physical damage. Well, I'm not digging inside of every single skill, I'm just telling you guys the basic idea, how you can just look at the warpets and which ones you should look at, right? Of course, you might ask why not Stride Bear, why not Frost Bear? Stride Bear, I wouldn't recommend. If you want some heals on infantry, go for Sand Lizard, right? The next one, Frostbear, right? Frostbear is great with Madeline, but well, Madeline is not really meta. Of course, if you are just starting the game and Madeline and Garwood is the number one hero pair you want to play, Frostbear can be the choice, right? But if you are speaking about the best ones, I think Bruin Bear is amazing. One more warpet, which is for infantry players, is Moon Bear. I would not say it's the, I would say the highest damage dealing warped for infantry players, right? Bruin Bear is like damage dealing plus some tankiness, but here I think Moon Bear is a lot more tankiness. But I would recommend to build Bruin Bear, and if you are infantry player and you want to have Goresh and Skogul, then I think Bruin Bear will be your choice, right? And of course, Sand Lizard, you can go for Sand Lizard as an infantry. You're gonna just change Chain Strike and Advanced Chain Strike to Counter Strike and Intense Counter Strike. So basically, as I have mentioned, Sand Lizard has a lot of choices. That's, well, of course, number one should be always Bruin Bear because of the Goresh and Skogul, right? And basically, that's it for infantry. Of course, Venomous Lizard is still there. You can use a Venomous Lizard with almost every single infantry, but it's not the best one, right? That's the main idea. The next hero pair and next troop type which we are going to speak is Mages, right? Mages has, of course, like diverse ideas of the warpets. There is Seraphic Fade Shadow Fade there is Sapphire Fade and of course Sand Lizard, right? Let's not speak about Sand Lizard every single time because, as I have mentioned, Sand Lizard is always there. So here I would highly recommend to focus on Sapphire Frederick. My opinion, still the best mage war pet in the game. Plus, the additional effect is that Sapphire Frederick is available from the beginning, right? For the beginners, it's still there. So at the start of the game, if you're gonna focus on Sapphire Frederick, you are already making a good choice. Of course, the skill set of the Sapphire Frederick main idea is that you're gonna deal damage to multiple targets, and if you are a tier 4 player during wars, that's the best way to get merit to deal damage to multiple targets. Well, that's generally my idea because whenever I play with my Walder and Welling, that's how I'm getting those merits, right? For the skills, Pain Bloom, Intense Pain Bloom, and Advanced Pain Bloom should be the choice. I think that's like priorities, number one priorities. Follow-up, Advanced Follow-up, Magic Fortunes, Outburst of Rage, and Resonance. That's like my war pet. That's how I generally build my own war pet, and that's what I'm currently using, right? And this is my war pet. Which skills I mentioned like early, you guys can see it here, and I think this is going to be really good, right? Of course, for mage players, what's important, right? For mage players, I think everybody understood that dealing damage to multiple targets, that's the main priority. But, well, there is one more thing, right? There is one more thing which I have mentioned already when I spoke about Sand Lizard. That's, of course, healing, right? And Seraphic Frederick, we shouldn't really forget the newest war pet. The amount of buffs this war pet is giving you is great, right? I'm not really saying that focus on Seraphic Frederick because I think it's more of a support, and even Talent says that it's support, and I think for a free-to-play player especially, you want to focus, because you have such a less amount of resources, you want to focus on what's the best for PvP, right? And best for PvP, I think Sapphire Frederick is still the best one. You can use it with every single mage hero pair, plus it's flying, so why not, right? That's generally the idea. Of course, Shadow Frederick is great because of the captive, but while we are speaking about the best ones here, and the best one still I think is Sapphire Frederick, and the newest war pet, which is Seraphic Frederick, is the number 2 choice in my list, right? The next one, which is of course my main troop type as a free-to-play player, I'm an archer player, and here is really interesting, right? Here, I think we need to say that we kinda have to speak about Sand Lizard again, because I think Sand Lizard is the best archery war pet in the game, especially for beginners, because Sand Lizard is the basic war pet, right? The build, where let's not speak about too much Sand Lizard. Build is like this: Chain Strike, Advanced Chain Strike, Angry Roar, and Stone Aura with Advanced Stone Aura, Tranquility, depending how much skill slots you have, right? Let's speak about the number 2 choice, right? Of course, you might ask Snowpeak Rock, why not, right? Of course, if you are Nico and Kinara player and you invested a lot of your legendary tokens on Nico and Kinara, you want concentration, you want this war pet to build, and you're gonna build it, right? But we are speaking about the best ones, which you're gonna have the highest reward, of course, Sand Lizard, and simply because the Magrot and Zaida is the best hero pair for archers, I think Shadow Manticore should be the choice, because Shadow Manticore really fits Magrot and Zaida hero pair. Because of advanced barbarism, right? War Pet has 8% chance to deal damage to the target when healed by a hero skill, and plus here barbarism deals damage to target and receives healing. So while which hero pair does absolutely huge amount of damage while being healed, that's of course Magrot and Zaida, right? And the build pass is really easy. Chain Strike, Advanced Chain Strike, of course, for some more healing. Well, Tooth of the Claw, because that's actually the skill damage factor, so Tooth of the Claw should be the great choice. And, well, Blood Roar, depending how much attributes you still have in your arsenal, right? Of course, there is one more war pet, which is Nightrock. But, well, if you ask me, well, I would say Shadow Manticore for Magrot and Zaida and the Sand Lizard is the number 1 choice together. The next one is Nightrock, because Nightrock you can use with Tindrion and Freygar, and you can use Nightrock even with Magrot and Zaida. That's like a more offensive style of war pet for Magrot and Zaida, for example, right? Because, well, For the Nighthawk, main idea is to just crit and deal damage, nothing more, right? So imagine Nighthawk as a pure normal attack crit rate damage dealer warped, which might be the good choice for you, right? If you are beginner and you don't build your Snowy Croc because you don't care about Kinara and Nico, then I think Nighthawk is a great choice, right? But still, right, if you are beginner, you have Sand Lizard here, and Sand Lizard is just too good for in the PvP to not build, right? So basically, Shadow Manticore and Sand Lizard should be the number one priorities for the Archer players. And next troop type, which we are going to speak, is of course Cavalry, right? Cavalry is a diverse troop type in the game. Basically, you want to play Cavalry with multiple marches together to sync, to have the same speed, to run together, or well, maybe you are a free-to-play player, you have only one march which you are going to use for your Cavalry, right? But I think there is a couple of warpets even for Cavalry which is great, right? And one of them is Berserker Frederick. Berserker Frederick is simply amazing. It just deals a lot of damage, especially for Forondil, right? Doesn't matter which hero is matching with Forondil. It's most important to have Forondil on this warped, and because of arrogance, because of the cowardice, more cowardice you're gonna apply, more debuff you're gonna apply whenever you have Berserker Frederick. In the end, more damage you are going to deal. And I think the great hero pair for Berserker Frederick is Forondil and Kinara, because Kinara is actually giving a lot of debuffs and a lot of cowardice stacks will be applied, and trust me, the amount of damage this warped deals. I have seen the amount of reports and the amount of numbers and the amount of case this warped is dealing damage is simply amazing, right? And I think you don't really need intense the advanced arrogance. I think intense arrogance and arrogance might be enough. Of course, first attack, right? First attack is number one choice for the Cavalry warpeds. Tooth of the Claw, Blood Roar, Fatal Bite, even advanced first attack can be the choices, right? Here we are not speaking about the builds, we are just speaking about the warpeds and the priority hero pairs and the heroes, right? I think Berserker Frederick is simply amazing, and I think if you are starting the game as a Cavalry player, you just have two choices, which I think is of like number one and number two choice for Cavalry warpeds. That's Berserker Frederick and Golden Rock, right? Golden Rock would be the number two choice even till this day. I think I'm not gonna speak about the Blade Manticore because I have not really tried it myself, and I did not really put too much time in the Blade Manticore, and that's what I know for sure. Berserker Frederick is just simply amazing in terms of damage. Golden Rock for the raid users, more of a skill damage, like more of a PvP warped, and that's the two warpeds for Cavalry players, which I think will be great to put your attention and put your time, right? As I promised, at the end of the video, you would understand more about warpeds and the priority warpeds which you might think of building, right? As always, if you like the video, press like, subscribe, share. We are really close to 1k. I'm kind of believing it because for a long time I could not believe that we could get to 1k. Thank you everybody. As always, if you like the video, press like, subscribe, share. This gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody amazing morning, day and night. We are going to see each other really soon. Bye bye and good luck.